All right, what is going on, everybody? Jesse Montano, Guerilla Sports, out here in Tampa Bay. Avs just wrapped this one up. 6-3 is the final. Really, I don't think that was quite indicative of how the game actually played out. But either way, the only thing that you can come away from this game is with a bad taste in your mouth if you're the Colorado Avalanche. They talked this morning about putting emphasis on wanting to finish strong and wanting to go home again, feeling good as you can about the trip. Jared Bednar talked about it this morning that if you got the result here tonight, you would have felt okay, about the trip as a whole because you get the point at the beginning, you go through a rough patch, but you would have been able to respond and say, man, that was a veteran way of responding to really some bad play. Like, call it what it is. That game against the Florida Panthers, not only was it not good enough, it just wasn't good. So you really could have erased a lot of the bad negative feelings with not just a win tonight, but a good effort and playing the way Jared Bednar said tonight. As silly as it sounds, the process might be more important than the result. I thought for large portions of this game, I thought the process was good. I thought the Avs worked. I thought their details were sharp at times. I want to stop just short of saying their details were sharp because I really thought there were large stretches of the game where they weren't very good. They got hemmed in their own zone a lot, bad turnovers. But when it came right down to it, Jared Bednar just told us after the game that a lot of what he struggled with, didn't like, is frustrated with, was he said we need to want it more. We need to want to win the game more than what we're seeing right now, and he cited some of the, mishaps in the defensive zone, and Cale Makar even put himself a little bit on blast, saying, "I'm not playing well. I'm making bad plays. I'm missing easy plays." So really, that kind of was, for me, the story of the night in terms of how the Avs ended up on the losing side of things. Right. Let's go back to the beginning because there were some positives to take out of this one. One of which being Bowen Byram gets himself going a bit, gets off the schneid, gets 2 goals here tonight and a big one early to help the Avs kind of get going, get on the board, and get off and running a bit. You need to see that from Bowen Byram. He's just too important of a player for this Avalanche team. We all saw the importance of Bowen Byram in the playoffs, in the 2022 playoffs, against the same Tampa Bay Lightning, where we've had multiple Avs players tell us, some of the leaders, some of the bigger names on this team, tell us Bowen Byram was, for stretches of that game, the best player on the ice for either team. That includes, being on the ice with defensemen like Cale Makar, Victor Hedman, Valeri Nichushkin was another one in that game that really seemed to excel. But there were nights that Bowen Byram, again, was the best player on the ice. We just haven't seen that this year, nowhere near enough. I thought tonight was a good night for him. It's it's a shame because it seems like he's had a few of those this year where he has a good night. He finally gets himself going, but then things kind of come unraveled a bit. His second goal was an interesting one, and really I thought he was going to turn the tides for the Avalanche and really kind of give them the boost that they needed at a key time. Ross Colton puts a puck on net. Andrei Vasilevsky makes a save, but can't really find it. He thinks he's got it. The ref, give him credit. Ref was in great position, saw the puck was loose, was yelling, "It's loose, it's loose." Bowen Byram found it and won a couple battles to get the puck over the goal line. You thought that was going to be a big moment for the Avs. That, okay, you got things tied. That's a big goal for a guy who needed it. Second goal of the game, and it was a hard-working goal. Less than 20 seconds later, they give up a breakaway to Steven Stamkos, who puts a great move on Jussi Sandin and tied the game right up. The Avs had multiple times throughout this game on both Bowen Byram goals where it felt like they took the air out of the building. There was a lot of frustration, a lot of boos. Fans and Tampa Bay Lightning themselves were very focused on the officials for large stretches of this game, and the Avs could not capitalize on that. It feels like they are really starting to squeeze the stick. Mikko Rantanen told me yesterday, 2 days ago, I don't know, folks, we're on day 16 of this road trip. I don't even know what days of the week are anymore. But Mikko Rantanen told me, he said, it feels like maybe there's moments where we're working and we're getting frustrated because we're not getting the results. And he used the phrase overworking, and he laid out examples like we're trying to do stuff that we wouldn't normally do. We're trying to force plays. And even Cale Makar said on the goal that, Braden Point to Nikita Kucherov to really kind of put the Bolts, it made it 4-3, but that felt like where they really started to separate. And Cale Makar even said, I wasn't expecting the puck to come there. And when it did, I don't know. I was trying to get a shin pad in the lane. And he was even kind of saying, like, I don't really know why I did that. Like, that's not the play that he would normally make. He would normally be more prepared for that. And it just seems like those are the issues that are plaguing the Avs right now, where it's just, and Jared Bednar said, he used the word delusion. He said, I don't know if it's delusion, if it's a lack of energy. He said, I don't know what it is, but they've got to get it figured out going forward, because this team is too good to be falling victim to these types of mistakes. And I think that's where a lot of the frustration is coming from. When I see feedback from fans online and stuff like that, is it's not that this is a bad team. It's that this is a better team than what they're showing. You lose Nathan McKinnon for a large stretch of this game when he gets the puck in the face. You're down Logan O'Connor. You're down Valerian Nichushkin. But every team this time of year is dealing with stuff like that. Jared Bednar also said after the game just now, we should be a more veteran team than this. We should be able to look at this and say, all we can do is win. He pointed out, we're the only ones that can fix this. So they're flying home tonight, and they get the day off tomorrow. This has been a long, grueling road trip. I'm not making excuses. They're not making excuses. But as I always say, I'm not here to make excuses. I'm here to provide context to what's happening. These guys have been gone for 2 weeks. I think they're anxious to get home, get back in their own beds. But it's obvious. They got a lot of work to do here on this one. It's a 6-game road trip. They went 1-4-1. 3 points of a possible 12 in the back half here, where you're supposed to be ramping things up. And Jared Bednar has talked about, we're going to start nitpicking details. There's a lot to nitpick here. So Avs have a lot of work to do. They get to get home. They get to get the night in their own beds, and they get to get the day off tomorrow. So come practice on Saturday and then home game on Sunday. There are no more excuses. There's no more, hey, well, we got to do this. We got to get that. We got to get home. Again, and I'm not saying that they're making excuses, but from like an outside perspective, you just can't make the argument come Saturday. I expect them to put a big effort forward on Saturday. The group seems angry. They seem pissed off. And I think they're going to come home and they need to come out with a big effort on Sunday here. We're into the time of year where championship teams start to separate, and the Avs are going to have to dial it up quite a bit here and clean up a lot of those details and get back to the hockey they were playing right before the break. It's obvious. If you were watching right before the break and you're watching now, there are clear differences. This team's capable of it. They just got to get back to that. So it's a nightmare road trip when it's all said and done. Avs are coming home. 1-4-1, got a lot of work to do, but anxious to get home. I know they're ready to get home. I am very ready to get home. Got an early flight tomorrow, so we are going to head out of here. I want to thank you guys all so much for following along with everything we've been doing here for the last 2.5 weeks. All-star than these 6 games here. So anxious to get home, but Avs dropped this one. 6-3 is the final here in Tampa. Long flight home. Avs got a lot of work to do.